Hey guys, Eric Waller, Regular Joe CEO here. I'm coming to you from a hotel, the JW Marriott in Hangzhou, China. I'm leaving today. I'll start packing up here in a couple hours, and maybe 2 or 3 hours I'll get in a car and head to Shanghai and get on a plane and the long trek across the globe back to DFW and back home, which I'm pretty excited about. I've had a good time here, but I'm excited to be home and see my wife and kids and sleep in my own bed. And while the food here has been amazing, I wouldn't mind a hot dog. so, quick recap: today's episode is going to be on challenges of new leadership, young leadership. But I do want to talk to you about our last episode we did was a kind of a short segment on customer retention, or I'm sorry, employee retention. And the things that I kind of pointed out was maybe, provide meaningful challenges. Don Kiefer, my friend at Shift Gear, calls this the optimal challenge, but meaningful challenges, making sure that the employees have the knowledge of the results of those challenges. Maybe you need to have some fun activities, and if you're not fun, you need to get out of the way. Obviously basic fair wages is a big part of the conversation, but we also talked about the sense of accomplishment is probably a lot more important why they stay, and maybe some flexibility in their schedules, or at minimum flexibility when they have urgent matters. But I read your comments, and I want to provide the things that I read from you guys. Okay, so I've got a list here, and one of the things you guys said multiple occasions was appreciation. So a boss that says thank you. I think it's super important. I think we all miss it. It was accessibility to the boss. It was intimate knowledge of my family, or at least my personal situation. We want a boss that sets attainable and reasonable goals. And I'll talk about setting goals, and I don't know that I agree with reasonable. That's not a requirement. It's nice, but it's not a requirement. But clear goals are a requirement. Acknowledgement of the employee's accomplishments and the difficulty to achieve them. Good pay. Again, I mentioned that earlier, but it really wasn't high on the list. It was mentioned one time, and it was kind of a third or fourth item a person brought. So again, not saying people don't deserve good pay and shouldn't have it, but it's kind of a basic. But you can't give them $1 to stay if you got a bad work environment. Okay, you can't pay your way out of a problem. They said they want the necessary tools to do the job. They want managers that listen to the line, listen to, the challenges they're having, listen to when they need help. And then this one is a huge favorite of mine. It's huge. Stop wasting time on non-performers. I couldn't agree more. Okay, I want to talk to you about performance management in another segment as well. So super excited about your comments. I want to give you that feedback for the people that are kind of wanting a little more around delegation. But tonight I'm going to talk to you again. I kind of had an idea when we started this that we kind of do a series of structured, different things. But, you guys are bringing some pretty meaningful topics. And this one I could really relate to, okay? A viewer sent in a pretty lengthy comment. And this viewer's mid to late 20s, recently promoted to a supervisor position in a family-owned business. When I say family-owned business, this is a meaningful business with a lot of employees. It's not, a really small 2 or 3 person shop. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm just trying to give you some context. And they're having some struggles with this new leadership role, mostly being, mid 20s. One of the challenges was, have a friend that works there. So their friend, I think kind of feeding back what the friend, I have some notes here. A friend struggles with constructive feedback, and when he provides that feedback, and he kind of gets feedback that's all he does is give negative feedback. It's just criticism and never focuses on the good. That's one thing he's hearing. He's definitely concerned that the older workforce, some of them 20, 30 years older than him, just really don't like to listen to the kid, especially being a family-owned business. He said personally he's tired of the daddy's boy comments, and and he's also working out of town a lot because this is a kind of a company that works out of town, and a lot of hotel stay, very little, trips home. And so you guys know that I can tell you I can relate to every single thing here with the exception of the daddy boy deal. Although I did, work at a company where my granddad got me a job there, and so I did have to deal with that as well, but I was, 17, 18, so that, wasn't that kind of issue. So I want to talk about number one, friendships at work. I really love the people I work for. I admire the people I work for. And if anybody I work with sees this, don't take this the wrong way, but um, even my very closest executive leadership team, um, I would consider them. I would do anything for them. But we don't hang out and go to the movies, man. Or we don't go to dinner with the wives. We don't, they're happy that way too. It's not like I'm inaccessible. I just, my friendships are for having fun and cutting up, and my work is for work. And obviously, I develop deep, meaningful relationships there. But having friends at work's tough, especially in a transition from a line employee to a supervisory role. And you got to fix that, okay? I can't tell you anything easy other than at some point you got to say, look, I have a job to do here. We can be friends, but when we're at work, this is work. The challenge is this particular person is staying out of town, so I have a ton of experiences. At least a decade living on the road. People that work in the oil field and other industries that travel understand the challenges of that. So these men and women that travel like that, not only they work together all day, they go to the hotel, they go to dinner, they are spending 16, 18 hours a day together, and there's no getting away. So that's probably some beers happening too and stuff like that makes it a little more difficulty. So or a little more difficult. My Texans popping out there, but you just got to squash that. You got to be, if they're truly a friend, you got to get real with them. You got to just say, hey, here's what's up, man. When I'm at work, I'm going to do my job. If that means providing feedback to you that you don't like, you got two choices. You cannot let me be your supervisor, and I'm not going anywhere, or we cannot be friends. Or choice number 3, you can segregate our friendship and our work relationship, which is the best possible outcome. Okay, you got to have that common. The second thing that the challenge was about was an older workforce not maybe feeling like they don't want to listen to you because of your age. And I was promoted at a very young age, and I think my first first promotion to supervisory role over a field crew was I was 21 years old. I got transferred we were working the Virgin Islands in St. Croix, and I got transferred to Houston, running an overhaul crew on some big natural gas compression. So, immediate problems, but some of that problems isn't so much, I think, looking back, my age, like you're viewing it. It's probably your experience. And while I was very good at my job, and that's why they promoted me, I wasn't good at leadership. I hadn't studied it. I didn't know how to do it. And quite frankly, my advice for you and anyone else that's listening is leadership. I think we have this huge misconception that we're born with these innate leadership abilities, okay? And I don't think that's true. I think that in my experience and my journey towards being an effective leader was I studied the skills. I read about it. I studied my leaders that I liked, and I tried to emulate and copy them. So, anybody that knows that's over time, I had one leader that did this thing really well, and I would do that. And I still have some things that I do, along the way that I kind of got little pieces of these different leaders in my head, and they have, my style has incorporated their styles because I admired what they did. And I respected them, okay? And so with an older workforce, you're probably right. They don't want to work for a kid, but it's not because of your age. It's because you're inexperienced as a leader. So take your job as a leader seriously, study it, focus on it, pay attention, get out of your head and get into their head, understand. And look, if they're just a salty old crusty ass, you got to be tough, okay? And that's, you got to earn your stripes. It's better to just listen to them, understand what they're saying, respect where they're coming from. But if you got a job to do and they don't want to do it, you need to be a tough leader. What's the word? Be fair, friendly, and firm. And if you have to give up all of them, be firm. Okay, so that's kind of fair, friendly, and firm is the goal for me all the time. The other things of being the comments about a daddy's boy comments. Man, you had to grow some skin there, buddy. Them guys are gonna eat you up if you don't. They find that button that pushes you, and they just do it. I mean, I'm kind of embarrassed about the way we kind of harass people in the oil field, and they harass me and I harass them. I mean, we got in guys' head and found out what bothered them, and we just poked and poked and poked, and that's just people. Okay, you got to rise above that. You got to realize that you've taken the mantle of leadership, that it's a serious responsibility. It's not a job. It's not about you. It's not about your ego or accolades. Your job is to take care of these people. And it means that you have extra things to do, and you just got to ignore that, and it's tough. So the other challenge, working out of town, man, my hat's off to anybody that still does that. I did that for, well, hell, I've been gone for a week. What am I talking about? Yeah, so Neely's probably watching this saying, what are you talking about? But for the most part, I'm home now. But I spent, I got married on a Saturday night at 7 o'clock, and Monday morning I was headed to Liberal, Kansas, okay? So I get it. You get homesick, you get tough, you're missing out on your kids' stuff, and you've absolutely got to make that a priority. And if you're working for your family and you sit down with your family and say, listen, your grandkids, my kids need my attention. You need to give me some type of different schedule, or you need to pay for them to come up here, or you need to do something, airplane tickets, whatever it takes. You got a really gift that you're working for your family, and your family expects more out of you. And as a result, you're giving it to them, but it's completely fair to talk to your family about taking care of your family, because if your parents or grandparents or whoever it is that you're working for, the reason they want you doing this work is they're trying to keep the collective equity that's being built in this company and in the family, as well as in a trusted hands, as well as helping you to create a future. And that's what parents and grandparents do, right? So they're investing in you, but you got to have a conversation with them about it's just not any good for you if you're not seeing your family, okay? And again, in 2010 and 11, I commuted for 18 months. I was home every 2-3 weeks maybe, okay? So lived in a fifth wheel in Lake Worth when we started this company. We're currently rated by S&P, and so but I lived in a fifth wheel in Lake Worth. Prior to that, I was in a fifth wheel in a campground in Rawlins, Wyoming. So I get it, but you just got to be tough. So number one thing, I really, really appreciate you sending these stories in and asking for help, and it means a lot to me to read one I can relate to. And so I hope I'm providing meaningful advice to you guys. At best, I'm providing my experience. So again, thank you for your comments, likes, and shares. Follow us on Twitter at @regularjoe_CEO. We've got our YouTube at Regular Joe CEO. We've got our Instagram, Regular Joe CEO. And of course, here on Facebook, Regular Joe CEO. And I think that's the Regular Joe and something. But anyways. Oh, and again, we don't have a website up and going, but we do own the website, which is, or the web address of regularjoeceo.com. So bookmark it. Please like, comment, share. Those things are so important, not just to me personally, but they're important to other aspiring leaders, entrepreneurs, existing entrepreneurs who are just trying to find a tip of the day, who might be having a bad day, can't figure out their way. And if you've got the drive to be better and improve, please like, share, and comment on this to share this with other people so they can find us here in this community. So anyways, thanks, and looking forward to getting home back to Texas, and we will see you soon. Thanks. Bye.